Jill Adams, once a U.S. Army medic and now a recovering alcoholic, works as a security guard at a local medical college to support her two children, Noah and Matilda. At the very start of the film, she sneaks into the hospital late at night, using her access to enter the research lab. There, she steals a supply of medicines, which she sells to a drug dealer the next morning. After this risky act, Jill heads over to her mother Doris' house to collect her kids. Due to Jill's troubled past with substance abuse, custody of Noah and Matilda legally remains with Doris. Matilda greets her mom with excitement, but Noah, true to his teenage mood, acts distant and annoyed. Doris allows them to leave but firmly reminds Jill to return the children by 7. On the road, while driving, the car suddenly swerves and comes to a stop. Jill asks her kids if they're all right, but before either of them can answer, another vehicle slams into them, sending their car crashing into a lake. As water floods the inside, the family fights for survival. Jill and Noah manage to escape to the surface, but panic when they realize Matilda is missing. Thankfully, a policeman rescues her and brings her to safety. Jill, injured from the crash, is advised by the officer to seek medical attention. He informs her that the entire city is facing a massive power outage. Anything running on electricity or fuel has completely failed, leading to countless accidents and chaos. Jill rushes her children to the hospital, only to find it overflowing with victims from accidents. Nobody has answers as to why the power has gone out or when it might return. Rumors spread that the country could be at war or under a terrorist attack. While waiting, the family witnesses 2 coma patients waking up simultaneously, adding more mystery. Later that evening, they return to Doris' house to spend the night. Jill and Noah, restless, gaze out the window and notice satellites darting unusually fast across the night sky. The following morning, Jill cycles to her job. Even though it's still dark, she notices that the streets are unusually crowded for that early hour. On her way, she stops to meet her drug dealer, who tells her he can now pay double for any medicine she supplies since demand has skyrocketed due to the crisis. At work, Jill takes another chance at stealing drugs in broad daylight, but is caught by the college's head doctor, Murphy, who arrives with 2 soldiers. To Jill's surprise, her theft isn't their main concern. They're preoccupied with investigating the mysterious blackout. Recognizing Jill's background as a medic, Murphy urges her to join the survivors' hub working to understand the phenomenon. Jill, however, refuses, prioritizing her children. Brian, a colleague from the college, warns Jill of something even stranger. No one in the city has been able to sleep for the past 48 hours. He explains that without sleep, people will soon suffer mental breakdowns and lose control. Jill dismisses his claim since Matilda slept soundly the previous night. Shocked, Brian reveals that the only other person known to have slept recently is an elderly woman with heart disease. Doctors are studying her, hoping to uncover answers.
After 48 hours of no sleep, there's a loss of critical thinking. Symptoms are appearing 2 to 3 times quicker. It's going to be total chaos. There is this one woman who can sleep.
Matilda was sleeping too. I mean, my daughter was sleeping.
Are you sure your daughter was sleeping?
Jill then realizes both Matilda and this woman are rare exceptions. Brian insists Jill bring Matilda to the hub for research, but Jill refuses, afraid the doctors might experiment on her daughter. Hurrying home, Jill discovers Matilda at the church with Doris. News of Matilda's ability to sleep has spread, and the pastor declares her a symbol of hope. But extremists within the congregation argue she should be sacrificed to restore everyone's rest. Alarmed, Jill understands the danger Matilda faces if word spreads further. She quickly decides to flee society with her children. Packing essentials, Jill, Noah, and Brian head toward the church. Along the way, they witness robberies and even stumble upon the corpse of a police officer, evidence of the growing madness from sleep deprivation. When they reach the church, Jill overhears the congregation debating whether to sacrifice Matilda. Brian tries to persuade them to let her help scientists at the hub, but a police officer favoring the sacrifice shoots Brian dead. Chaos erupts, and amidst the confusion, Jill grabs her children and escapes into a nearby forest. Noah convinces Jill that going to the hub may be their only chance. If Jill and Noah die, Matilda will be left defenseless. Realizing some older cars might still function, they search a garage. Jill sneaks inside, evades looters, and finds a working vehicle. On the road, Noah marvels at his sister's ability to sleep amid the crisis. They soon pass an accident site where the looters from before have died. Jill takes their gun and drives on, but to her relief, they let the car pass. Exhausted, The family rests in an isolated library. Jill teaches Matilda to handle a gun, fearing her daughter will one day be alone. That night, prisoners released due to the crisis roam free. A convict named Dodge finds their car, with Matilda still inside, and drives off. Jill and Noah are surrounded by other prisoners and nearly captured, but Dodge surprisingly returns, saving them. Together, they travel and find supplies at a plane wreck before continuing north. At night, Jill teaches Matilda to drive, preparing her for survival. Soon after, they encounter corpses hanging upside down by the road. Attacked by maniacs, they barely escape after Matilda slams the gas pedal. Eventually, they reach the hub. Dodge leaves to find his family, despite offering to stay. Jill hides Noah and Matilda in a nearby house, not trusting the hub's safety. Exhausted, she sneaks in disguised as a lab worker and meets the elderly woman, who admits she was supposed to die a month ago, but inexplicably survived. Jill asks her to care for Matilda, but the woman is too frail. Murphy interrupts, revealing that doctors discovered a drug that can temporarily aid the sleepless brain but causes lasting damage. Back at the house, soldiers captured Dodge, Noah, and Matilda. To protect them, Matilda admits she can sleep. Taken to the lab, she is tested with anesthetic gas, proving she truly can rest. Meanwhile, Jill's mind begins to collapse from exhaustion. Murphy questions her, but she can barely respond. Soon after, the elderly woman dies from cardiac arrest, leaving Matilda as humanity's only hope. Soldiers, doctors, and guards spiral into madness, hallucinating and killing each other. Jill herself sees visions of Noah attacking her, but snaps back when she realizes he's beside her. As the hub descends into chaos, Jill fights to rescue her daughter. Murphy, already failing from stimulants, dies in front of her. Jill frees Matilda, and together they search for Noah, who hallucinates a live electric wire as a fish and is electrocuted. Despite their efforts, they fail to revive him. By dawn, corpses cover the hub. Only Jill and Matilda remain alive, though Jill is on the verge of collapse. Suddenly, Noah awakens, fully recovered, as if from a deep sleep. The siblings realize he revived because his brief death allowed him to rest, just like when Matilda drowned in the lake earlier. In a desperate attempt to save Jill, Noah and Matilda drag her to a lake, submerging her until she goes still, then pull her out to perform CPR. The film closes on the children trying to bring their mother back to life.